Hey guys, Coach Micheal, Burt. Welcome to another episode of Good Coach, Bad Coach. Secrets that great coaches know that the others never quite figure out. I'm the super coach, Coach Burt. Follow me at Micheal Burt. And I got a substitute player today. Bruce Lund is down on the beach, chilling out. We've got Matt Crane here, my new engagement specialist, operations specialist, who's going to be with me on Good Coach, Bad Coach. So Matt, welcome to the show.
Good to be here. So yeah, I'm glad you made sure the audience didn't get confused that Bruce had blown up over the weekend.
Well, let me tell you what we're going to talk about. We believe one podcast can change your life. We believe that a good coach can change your life. We believe that bad coaches squander talent. There's lots of bad coaches in the world. This show is intended for managers. It's intended for coaches, leaders, people that are out there that are running teams, and it is a tough gig to run a team. I was thinking this week, Matt, about me teaching common dysfunctions of teams this week to Farm Credit of Mid-America, and it just reminded me of how hard it is to build a great team. And one of the things we're going to talk about today is a constant engagement, because there's two big words that have been showing up consistently in our coaching circles. That's culture. Everybody wants to know how to build a successful culture, and I talk about that in the book, The Anatomy of Winning. And everybody wants to know how to keep their people engaged and on fire. And that's really what your role is at Micheal Burt Enterprises. So when you think of the word engagement as a coach to a team, what comes to your mind?
Experience, Coach.
Okay.
The marketplace is so saturated today that I firmly believe customer service is dead. I think people don't want to just get the bare minimum. When I think of the word service, I think of just enough. I think people truly want to be engaged, and the marketplace shows it.
That's right.
The most engaged brands are the ones that have the most longevity and are not needing to change their brand identity.
That's right.
They're just ramping up their engagement with their client base.
And when you think about the athletic coaches that listen to this show, engagement is from coach to player, coach to community, coach to administration. It is a constant engagement between these parties. And what I want you thinking of is vested partnership. What I want you thinking of is a relationship between you and your players in the community and the university, right? And in the workplace, it's manager to employee, employee to, right? All the way out there, because to scale a business or to scale something to where it really hits a tipping point, one person can't do it. You got to have multiple people. And there's a lot of disengagement out there in the world, which is leading to very poor cultures. And it's because the head coach or the coaching staff does not have their pulse on the engagement of either the employees or the customers. Fair enough?
Absolutely. I think the difference between a coach and a speaker is a coach has the ability to be a chameleon with no one knowing it. They have the ability to have multiple engagement points and everyone feeling walking away that you were talking specifically to them. And I think nowadays that with the saturation of the marketplace and with so many people wanting so much intimacy, the engagement piece is what really separates, in my opinion, the true leaders in the industry and the wannabes.
Yeah, because people are making an assessment of how engaged. And I remember one of the big mistakes I made early on in my coaching career as an athletic coach was I was pretty disengaged from the public. I was kind of hidden. I was only one to focus on my team. I didn't want to get out and do things and meet people and advocate for other programs. I was really a loner. And where this hurts you is, as long as you're winning, people don't say anything. But the minute you start losing, they're going to be like, man, let's get this bozo out of here. Because here's the deal. It's easy to fire somebody you don't like. It's hard to fire somebody you like. It's hard to get rid of. Today we're working on a big deal with the Dan Elam real estate team. He said, you know why we're signing another year with you? Because you're engaged and you're a vested partner of ours. So I want us to think about the word inclusion. Then we're going to take a break and come back. What you got to do as a coach is you got to learn to include people. Everywhere you go, you got to learn to make people feel important and special and included. I tell the story of the new church I'm at, which is New Vision Baptist Church. Since I've been an adult, it's been the only church that's ever asked me to use my talents within the church. They included me. When I include a person, guess what happens? Engagement goes up. right?
Absolutely.
So we got to include people in the coaching process. You got to start including people everywhere you go. You got to start thinking about building by getting people on the inside of where the action is happening versus excluding yourself from them. You're watching Good Coach, Bad Coach. Secrets of great coaches know. Great recruiters know how to include people. Great people that develop talent know how to include people. So today we're talking engagement and we're talking culture. You can watch this on the greatnessnetwork.com. That's greatnessnetwork.com, or download it, Stitcher, iTunes, Podcast Republic. That's Good Coach, Bad Coach. Come on back in segment number 2. We're going to show you some tricks on how you stay monster engaged with your people. Hey guys, I'm Coach Micheal, Burt, the Super Coach. I believe everybody needs a good coach in life, and one of the hottest programs we have out in 2016 is Turn Your Managers into Coaches. We want to take your current managers and teach them how to recruit and attract better talent, how to coach and develop that talent, and how to retain that talent. Most managers do not know how to coach and develop talent. That's why we developed this very extensive program, 12 modules. We can deliver it in one day. We can deliver it in 4 sessions, 6 sessions, or 12 sessions. All you got to go is to managerstocoaches.com and sign your team up so we can coach them up. And here's what's going to happen. More engagement, better cultures, better work environments, and you're going to get much more production. Turn your managers into coaches with Coach Micheal Burt. All right, guys, welcome back. Another episode of Good Coach, Bad Coach, Secrets of Great Coaches Know. Follow me at Micheal Burt on Twitter. Follow at Matt Crane 10X, right, on Twitter. And what we're talking today is about how to engagement. You've been hired on our team. Now, this is, I think, a big takeaway for the people watching the show. I recognized a missing structure in our coaching programs and with our customers about engagement. I'd come in and speak. People would enjoy it, but then nothing would really happen until I came back again. So we get them real excited. I'd leave. The excitement would deflate. People would begin to question, where's the sustainability of this? I said, man, I got an engagement problem. I got to turn the engagement up. We need a guy that comes in the day of and sends them something. Sends them something 2 days after. Sends them something 2 weeks after. Holds them accountable, because that's how you build a culture. So that's really what your job is as the engagement specialist. What are you finding that's the hardest part of this job?
Knowing that at what level you need to touch people. Mm-hmm. I think because every business, every client, every individual is different. Mm-hmm. They all have different needs. Mm-hmm. But the thing that you have to go into it knowing right away is that people pay you first because they're excited by you. Mm-hmm. They pay you again and again because you engaged them. Mm-hmm. So for me, right out of the gate, it was identifying who needed what touch point, mm-hmm. how to deliver that touch point, and how to create that consistency. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, it's not something you're going to be able to do overnight.
Right.
It's not something you're going to be able to do in an hour.
Right.
You have to dedicate yourself to the process. You have to study that process, and you almost have to recalibrate your own mindset. Are you even engaged enough with yourself
That's
to
right.
understand how to engage people?
Yeah, and so I want you to think about this engagement. If you're not sold, you're not going to be engaged. If you're not engaged, the customer's going to sense it. The customer sense it, they're going to start saying, I want to go to places where people are engaged. People are on fire. That speaks to the culture. Do you have a dead culture? Do you have an alive culture? A local pastor here that's grown a church, 22,000 people, Corey Trimble, left a book on my desk. And he talked about starting a church from scratch, nothing in a warehouse. No money, no seed money, no tithe money, no nothing. And over a period of time grew that church to 2,000 people. That's engagement. My buddy Rick Insell at MTSU, the head coach, took attendance from 695 people a game to over 4,000 people a game. That's engagement. So what people are sensing is there's something happening here. There's something exciting. There's something that's going on that I want to be a part of, right? There's some energy transfer here. And so an engagement specialist, I really want to speak to every person out there and ask, who is your engagement specialist? Who's contacting your customers? Who's making sure people come to your games are engaged and part of the process? Who's pulling people in? Because if you're a loner versus an ambassador, if you're introverted versus extroverted, then what's going to happen is you're going to want to exclude people. You're going to want to be selfish of your time versus include people. Everywhere I go, I meet people. Everywhere I go, I shake hands with people. Everywhere I go, my goal is to make people feel special. Even if I just get to spend just a few minutes with them, I try to say something to move the needle in their life. And so this is something that great coaches do, right? Wouldn't you say? Great coaches know how to include and engage people.
Absolutely, and you know, here's a prime example. So the first thing that I would say is one of the best things you teach is, do you know your customers?
Right.
Do you know those 5 different levels of customers? The only way you're going to know that is engage them. But you also have to reciprocate that to yourself. So I had to go in and understand which 5 levels were our customers. But the second thing to prove that very point is Bruce Lunn, okay, our counterpart, took a phone call on a Saturday.
That's right.
And it was between yourself, Micheal Burt Enterprises,
Yep.
and another big name coach.
That's right.
And the company not only gave you a letter of intent, but signed a contract before the other company engaged them.
That's right.
Simply because Bruce took the time to engage that client.
That's right.
And that there shows that there has to be a relentless attitude.
That's right.
And a behavioral process.
Well,
to
money
move
never
forward.
sleeps, but it sure does get bored. And I think when you think about it, we won that agreement because the other coaching company wasn't engaged. We could give them some coaching. I'm sure we get some coaching on some things too. But you were talking about the 4 types of customers and 5 types of customers. And I want to end the show with this. Every person that is involved in your organization, that is consuming your product, whether you be a coach, whether you be in the business world, whether it be employees, are one of these 4 types of people. I want you to never forget this. Number 1, they're a passive. That means they're totally lukewarm toward you and your product and service. Number 2, they're a detractor. They are doing business with you, but they don't like it, and they're telling people negative things about you. Number 3, they're a promoter. That means there's chatter and buzz. The 4th level I like to get to is advocacy. And advocacy is where we're in the boat with each other, we believe in each other, we're fighting for each other, and this only happens when 2 people or 2 parties are totally engaged and they're back to back and they're fighting for each other and they believe in each other and they're willing to go the next level for each other, right?
Absolutely, and the reason why I said 5 is because one thing that you preach on and that has hit home with me is the whole person.
Yep.
So that 5th level to me is if I'm truly engaged and I've really created an advocate, that I'm touching the whole person.
That's
and
right.
That's when you know that you've reached maximum engagement and you're creating longevity with your customer base.
That's right. Body, mind, heart, spirit. You're watching Good Coach, Bad Coach. Secrets of great coaches know the others never figure out. 15-minute show we bring to you every week on the Greatness Network. You can download this and by all means listen to it on podcasts with iTunes, Stitcher, Podcast Republic, or you can go to Greatness Network and get all of our podcasts because we believe everybody needs a coach in life and we believe a good coach can change your life. I'm Coach Micheal Burt, the Super Coach. Go to CoachBurt.com to learn more. Sign up for our Turn Your Managers into Coaches program, and we're going to take them and teach them. Whole purpose of the program, guys, engagement. Engaged managers with their subordinates or employees always outperform people that are not. Matt Crane, Coach Burt. We'll see you next week on Good Coach, Bad Coach.